Welcome back to God's Autobiography. It has been a minute and a half, and I guess I got another little life story, fun part of my life to tell. Been, I don't know, just reminiscing about the past and my homie John here, and it reminded me of this funny little story that I'm surprised I hadn't kind of immortalized in this little channel story collaboration of mine thing. But it's about the coldest I've ever been. Honestly, cannot remember the year. I was at Stony Brook. I was living on campus, so within my first couple years of being on Long Island, I was taking my motorcycle home, and I also can't remember if this was like the end or like the mid-semester or the end of the semester. I think it must have been around like, couldn't have been winter break, because I don't think it was like dead winter, so it might have been spring break and just still cold. I don't know. Weather wasn't too bad on Long Island, but it just got colder and colder as we went north. It actually got pretty cold about the time we got to the city, because it was just getting later at night. But my mother had come down with our family minivan at the time. We loaded up all my stuff, and I followed her and my stepdad. Me on the motorcycle followed them home. The problem with it being so cold is that I could not tolerate or manage the 4.5, 5 hour drive north. So my stepdad and I would actually switch on and off as to who was riding. Pretty much every hour at most was what we could make. We would kind of flag down, like if whoever's on the bike would flag down the van and we just couldn't take it anymore, switch off all of our thermal wear, and then hop in for the rest of the trip. But just fucking cold, really, really bad. It got to the point where we hit Sharon Springs. We got maybe another 20 minutes or so until we get up to my actual house, and my dad lives there, so lived there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go pull off at dad's. I'm gonna sleep there tonight, because I don't know, I don't want to drive these last 20 minutes. It's way too fucking rough. So that was fine. I don't know, it's my dad's house. Never really have to give him a heads up. Just kind of stop by. I think I did anyways. But stopped by. I was gonna crash there for the night. And when I got there, it wasn't super late. So I hit up my buddy John, a different John who's upstate. I was like, hey man, I'm home. I didn't make it all the way home because it's cold, but he has a car. I was like, if you guys are doing anything, then let's chill. So turns out a few kids from back home wanted to go bowling. My hometown doesn't really have anything like a bowling alley or anything really fun to do. So like, yeah, we're gonna go out to Cobleskill, just on the opposite side of Sharon. So like, neat, pick me up and we'll go bowling. It'll be a good time. And this son of a bitch shows up on his motorcycle, not in his car that we can both sit in with the heat on and live out our days, on his bike. And it's fucking cold. Like, it's well into dark. It's just cold as shit. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm still cold from the ride up from Long Island. We've got another like 20, 30 minutes until we get to Kobe from here. This is gonna suck, but I guess it's our only option. So we freeze our ass out to Cobleskill to meet up with everybody at the bowling alley, only to find out that particular bowling alley was closed. We didn't call ahead of time. We just kind of assumed, and it was a terrible, terrible mistake. So instead of just calling it a night and going home, everyone else is like, you know what? I still really want to go bowling. Let's go to Oneonta, which is like 45 minutes from my hometown in the opposite direction. We've got about an hour to drive on the highway to get there. Really did not want to go, but I wanted to see these guys, so John and I head off ahead of everyone else, and we try to make it to the bowling alley. And we are fucking flying. One of the how's it going, Jupiter? There you go. We are hauling ass, some of the fastest I've ever ridden, and it was only because it was so cold we needed to get the ride done. And John eventually just took off further than me. I got to the point where I was convulsively shivering. Like, I would shiver and the bike would fucking death wobble. It was terrifying. So I slowed down a shit ton, knowing that I've got some buddies in a car coming up behind me. And it felt like forever of me driving almost not at all, waiting for them to catch up. Which they eventually did. They caught up to me. I flagged them down. And I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Can we pull off in like a nearby Walmart or something? I'll drop off the bike and ride with you guys. So we did that. Drop off the bike, we go, and for the duration of bowling, I'm still wearing my thermals, and I'm just bone cold. Didn't really get any better. Had a decent time, had some good laughs, and it was time to go home. So they bring me to the bike, John follows them, we get off at, it might have been a Walmart or a Target or something. I hop back on the bike, and just John and I continue to freeze our asses off as we go home. But so much fog had come in, as well as it being colder, being later at night, that we couldn't see shit. So for the majority of the ride home, which I think we might have just gone back to my dad's house, was us riding next to each other, so our two headlamps could kind of make it almost visible. and just driving about like 15 miles an hour, which was better because my shaking and my convulsions didn't affect the ride as much. I wasn't quite as scared, but just getting colder, getting worse. Absolutely awful time. I've never been that cold. I've never been that scared. I've never been that uncomfortable, and it was just hell. But I don't know, kind of made for a good test of endurance in some way. Terrible fucking time. John, if for some reason you ever watched this, that sucked. That was bloody awful. That's it for today. That's autobiography number something. I have no fucking clue where we are in this. I have not been doing well with this, but I have been doing well with my Let's Clone channel. So if you want to learn some game development, find me there. Enjoy the fuck out of your day.